Hello, I hope everyone is having the most sensational day. Today we're going to be listening to Paul McCartney's McCartney for the very first time for me, and we're going to be listening to side one, which I'm so excited for, and the first track on this side is The Lovely Linda. That was shockingly short. For a second when it stopped, I thought maybe that was just the intro and then the song was about to kick in, but what a short and sweet way to start off this whole album. So beautiful. We're jumping right into that acoustic nature feeling. It feels very organic, very grounded. That guitar is so beautifully played. The way he has his little vocal Olympian moment where he flips over into like a middle head voice, very beautiful, delicate, delightful, and the la la las always make me feel like the sha la la las from Brown Eyed Girl, which has a deep home inside my heart. So I'm very happy already. Very happy, a little surprised, but in a good way. I think you'd always rather it be too short than too long. So with that,
I'm gonna stop talking.
At number 2, we've got That Would Be Something. Hopefully that something is something fantastic. Okay, before going on, I just want to point out how that intro was really cool. There was a bit of some ominous activity going on, but it probably is just based on the fact that the sound felt distorted a little bit, just a little bit of some fried radio coming through, and the fact that it feels like it exists on a different plane to the one that the vocal exists on when it kicks in, and then that little tonal switch that Paul did with his voice. Excellent. Nice percussion. What I love is the control over his dynamics and vocal power. So now when I'm talking about dynamics for this song, I feel like I'm not necessarily touching on volume, like loud and soft, but more so the power behind the words that he's saying. It's more about like the intention and the depth at which he's speaking, because it feels like the volume is all existing very low, like it's all just being hummed a bit, which adds that eerie, almost jazzy nature, yet it's so rustic at the same time. It feels very like hillbilly-ish, like sung on the front porch. There's a lot of like man-made vocal percussion going on, which is really cool. But then yeah, his ability to up the intensity vocally, like dragging you in, like this is an important part, without it actually getting louder or much louder. That was so cool. I feel like I just got a double psych. I love that chord that I thought was the final chord, because you can hear all the different pitches and notes just strung out and kind of colliding with each other at the end. Then there was a stop that confused me into thinking that was the end. Then we had a little bit more music and I thought, oh, okay, it was gonna keep on going, but then it stopped again and I wasn't prepared for the second stop to be so sudden. I loved it. That was really great. I've never been to Louisiana or New Orleans, but it kind of gives me that feeling. Like I feel like if I ever go there, the music is gonna feel the same way that this song does. It's gonna sound like this. At number 3, we've got Valentine Day, not to be confused with the film Valentine's Day, starring
Julia Roberts, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Biel, Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Garner,
Taylor Swift,
Jamie Foxx, Taylor Lautner, Ashton Kutcher, Jessica Alba, Emma Roberts, Patrick Dempsey, Eric Dane, Kathy Bates, Topher Grace, Queen Latifah, Shirley McCoy.
And I'm just gonna stop there because like everyone in Hollywood is in this movie. Okay, so far I love the competition down in the melody. It feels like we have competing lines, competing guitars, one then another, and then there's like a harmonious moment in the middle where just a third element is focused on, and then we're pulled back into this war. It's like this tug of war going on back and forth. So good. This was another one that was like 15 seconds long. I wasn't expecting, nor was I ready for all these short songs, but you know what? I'm okay with that because that was so good. Gave me that same feeling that I get when I'm watching a movie and two rival groups are getting ready to kind of face off against each other. It's that preparation scene, both of them arriving to the set, arriving to, you know, the scene of the place where they're gonna have that showdown, and they're both getting ready, gearing up, looking cool, trying to outcool the other group. That's what that felt. A little wild, wild west action. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked the subtlety of the movement of the chords, even though it did feel like a battle all the way through. And we had some moments that were just bright, shining, show-offy moments. Beautiful. It's those moments that I've talked about before that make me so envious of anyone who has any ability to play the guitar, especially if you could just let it rip and just let it fly. Oh gosh, what must that be like? Must be like being a bird able to fly. But that was really good. And then we had that steady percussion all the way, old, reliable, like a nice train track getting us to our destination. Ya tú sabes cómo va esta parte. Hemos llegado al número 4 y se llama Every Night. Comerciales.
Rewind.
Hold on. I need to go back and listen to something for a second. First of all, I love this percussion. I love it. It's so fun. It's definitely tying this song together so well. I love that kick at the end. Every night I just wanna... Every day. That was so beautiful, the way that melodic line came in and interrupted the vocal line in that little pause, kind of like a transitional device to the next phrase. And then when the next phrase started, which is the reason why I wanted to go back and see what was happening, it felt like his voice was on this rotation, and now we're getting to hear his voice fresh for the first time ever, even though we just heard him sing the last phrase. It's like the volume is being messed with where it's all the way back down again, and then the dynamics increase, kind of abrupt and sudden drop, and then a steady increase. Ooh. Such a beautiful and strategic use of the sevenths there, transitioning our song and propelling us forward into the next phrase, into the next line. Listening to Paul McCartney's ad-libs, his oohs and ahs on top of a bed of all these sevenths and this insane instrumentation going on below him, supporting him, feels like it's all like these beautiful pillows and this really, really squishy cushion, and we could just throw ourselves on it and listen to the beauty and feel so comforted and supported by how magnificent he's carrying everything. And that's heavily due to the transitions too. I feel like they're performed so seamlessly and smoothly. There's no hiccups going on. I feel like the transition is happening as he's finishing the line. Like he doesn't even get to finish before the transition starts, and then the transitional little device, that little in-between, doesn't even stop before he started again. So it's kind of like a rippling wave effect. Like there's no end. I want to talk about how groovy and appetizing that bass line was, just so otherworldly. And the reason I wanted to mention it is that I could see how with a song like this, all the other guitars going on can overpower that, because I could be wrong about this, so I don't know. Don't kill me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like there's layering, there's a lot of other guitars going on, and the way that they're involved is just so spectacular, because they're played with this crisp precision and talent and skill level at 100, but then there's also a lot of fiery, intense passion behind it. And some may argue that having passion is more important than having the precision, but to have both, that's so rare and mind-blowing and just spectacular. Number 5, we have Hot as Sun / Glasses. Is that a mellotron or mellotron? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, or I don't even know if I got the right instrument, but very electronic sounding and very cool. Okay, I love that motif so much, and I'm gonna speak because I've given up hope for any lyrics coming at any point. If they come, it's gonna be just a huge surprise in a positive way, but if they don't, another huge positive surprise, because this side has had a lot of lyricless, vocalless tracks, which are really cool. But something to note about the motif and the chords in this, the chord progression of the motif doesn't go exactly where my ear would expect. And I think that that's something that we can hear back in the Beatles too. So I feel like he pulled that around with this album, specifically with this song, having that moment of shock, adding a little bit of shock value into, not what you would expect, not the, basic chords that would just fill in the blank and be easy and still sound beautiful and spectacular and like what you would expect. But he made it so unexpected and so different, throwing us off without sounding crazy or bad. Because sometimes things can be unexpected and it didn't work out. Like, you should have just gone with the expected thing. But in this case,
brava.
To taking that leap of faith and going into the unexpected chord. I get it. That's why there's the slash, right? So the whole song exists in the hottest sun, and then the glasses part is that little tiny section at the end where he does have a vocal peep through. I can't believe I even said that maybe there was a chance for a vocal coming through. I really didn't expect it. That was so crazy. That was so good. And then all that dissonance, it was so eerie and terrifying. It kind of reminded me of the sound of like a swing set, just those notes that clash and collide together that make that disturbing dissonance that just, it kind of makes my skin crawl. It also sounds like a horror movie. And then his vocals came through and broke all the tension and made it sound beautiful again. And then it was over, just like that. At number 6 and second to last, we have Junk. Bicycles for two. This is the first heartbreaking, minor, beautiful, chocolatey moment that we have. It just feels like dessert, getting like this melancholy, sad, somber, but gorgeous tune. And then we have that chord change right there where he follows it with the vocal melody. Da, da. Just like letting us down easy, but still breaking our heart at the same time. I just love the innocence and just the sweetness of that little sound, that bell-like sound, like maybe a xylophone or or something crazy, something beautiful and childlike and innocent and percussive. Those harmonies came through for us. This is one of my new favorite things ever. Like a nice, beautiful, simplistic folk song with some heartbreaking European, Spaniard guitar going on. Yeah, to just seal the deal. I think it's safe to assume we might have an idea of what my favorite song might be so far on this side. Ironically enough, we've reached my least favorite part of the video, which is the final song. We're going to be sharing our final moments together listening to Paul McCartney, Blow Us Away. Hopefully this one was worth the wait. Man, we was lonely. Take it away, Paul. I love this thick, echoey, bouncy reverb on every note. Very cool. What I think is so special about the addition of this reverb is that it kind of yo-yos the pitch a little bit too. Like, not only does it add this dramatic effect, but it also plays and interferes with the way that we hear the notes as well. Like, it kind of changes the relationship from one to another. It's not as straightforward. There's so much in between now.
And we was lonely and a smile, and now we're fine all the while. To ride on my fast city line.
That was some of the most fun back and forth call and response moments I've heard in a really long time.
And we was hard pressed to find a smile. I am home. And we was lonely while.
I love those little walk downs down in the instrumentation. It kind of also feels like it's this communication with the bass line too. We have this doon, 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 doon. It feels very percussive, the way it's pronounced and very forward, just very satisfying. This one was pure satisfaction, kind of making me a little bit fuzzy on what my favorite might be now. That's a little bit confused. Love the way that all the effects of the song communicated with all of the chord movements, because it felt like the effects added this other layer to the music, like it added this other musical component that wasn't necessarily going on without it. And it probably was further highlighted by the fact that there was really interesting chords, or maybe it was the cause of what sounded to be interesting chords. Like, it sounded for the first time we had some six in there, they brought back the sevens, just the way it all worked together. And then we had that conclusive, definitive end on those walk downs, the do do do. It just brought everything together, tied each phrase perfectly with a ribbon, and just stuck the landing like in gymnastics, like stick it. That's what it felt like. So good. This was quite an amazing side. I'm excited for everything that we have coming out soon. I wasn't ready to say goodbye to you quite yet. First I needed to express my gratitude. Dear Richard and Marissa, Jerry and Jeff, thank you for the super thanks from you that we get. It's thanks to you that these videos can continue. So I'm appreciative and grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you guys so very much. Thank you to all of our super thanks heroes. It's true, without you guys, these videos would be so difficult to continue forward. So really, I owe all of this to you. Thank you very, very much. I love you. I hope each and every one of you stay safe. I hope you take care of yourself and that you take it easy.